Hello there guys, Tolo here, and welcome to another video. In today's video I'm gonna be talking about some of my keybinds, some of my macros. You guys have been asking for this for quite some time now, and I kept forwarding you guys to my old video. But hey, it's about time that I did a updated video with my macros and keybinds, since a few things has changed, and I do believe the last video I did make was back in patch 5. Patch 4.2, back when Firelanes came out back in the Cataclysm. So let's go right ahead, shall we? So before I'm gonna show you guys all of my keybinds, all of my macros, I just very much want to point out that these are my own personal choice. I'm not saying they are the best of the best, and you certainly don't have to follow it by any ways. I just want to give you guys some inspiration, and if you feel like I'm doing something wrong, or you maybe got a better macro, well, let me know. I am listening, after all, and it is very much up to personal choice or gameplay and etc. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and take a look, shall we? I'm just gonna go from like button, gonna go through them all. So this video might be might take some time, and also I just want to let you know that most of my macros will be put in the comment section down below, so if you want to copy paste them, well, feel free to do so. Alrighty, so on number 1 I got my Mortal Strike, number 2 I got my Overpower, number 3 I got my Slam, number 4 I got my Spell Reflect macro. That is gonna put me into a shield and a one-handed weapon. The macro is looking like this. It is pretty much equip the one-handed weapon, and I can actually switch that weapon to another weapon. I'm gonna do that later. I see my macro is like a little bit outdated, but equip the weapon and equip the shield and then cast Spell Reflect. That way I only have to press like 2 times, 1 time for switching to the shield and weapon, and then another time to actually Spell Reflect. Okay, so on number 5 I got Victory Rush. Number 6 I got my Shattering Throw. Number 7, which is also my mouse, one of my, guys, you know how you have like most mouses have like 2 buttons on the side, right? Well, one of those buttons are number 7, and that is for my Colossus Smash. And not only is it for my Colossus Smash, I can show you guys my macro right here. It is a equip slot number 16, and then my PvP two-handed weapon, and then it's gonna cast Colossus Smash. It also got the startattack up here, just to make sure that I am auto-attacking if anything. And then what it does is actually it will be using Colossus Smash unless I'm not having the weapon on. So what the macro really does is that, let's say I have a shield, I have a one-handed weapon here, equipped, and I want to switch back to the two-handed, right? I attack, then I click number 7, which is the side of my mouse, and bam, 1 click, and I am back to the two-handed weapon, and then after that I just have to like click once, and it will do my Colossus Smash. Basically, just making sure that I am using my two-handed weapon. For some people, this might not be useful, because some of you guys might want to do Colossus Smash. If, let's say, you are in a defensive stance and you're currently using Shield Wall or something, and you're maybe using 2 weapons here, you still want to do Colossus Smash, right? If in case you like using your shield and your one-handed weapon, and you still want to use Colossus Smash, then it might not be useful for you. But then again, personal choice. I just never Colossus Smash when I'm like using a one-handed shield. Yeah. So on number 8, which is another side button on my mouse, I got Heroic Strike, and that is basically just cast Inner Rage, cast Heroic Strike, cast Inner Rage. Well, I'm just being lazy. Probably extremely stupid to put it there, but then again, I'm lazy, my playstyle, and you guys might want to activate it by default by yourself. Yeah, I can't even remember what Inner Rage does, because honestly it's been so long since I've used that ability manually. If it even exists anymore, I actually don't know. Now that's kind of embarrassing. But that, hey, that's what macros do to you guys. It should be somewhere in here, right? And next button is my charge. My charge is on keybind G, right beside F, on keybind number G. And next keybind is my defensive stance keybind. Basically, it is Shift E, and it will put me into defensive stance. And I press it once more, Shift E that is, and I will be put back into battle stance. Yep. And I'm gonna show you guys the defensive stance here. Basically, what it does is show tooltip defensive stance / cast battle stance / cast defensive stance. So if I'm in battle stance, it will put me in defensive, and if I'm in defensive, it will put me in battle stance. Very nice, very convenient. Last but not least, the next is my die by the sword, and I have that on Shift S. So that's kind of easy to get to, very easy. Okay, so the next keybind is Q, and that is just basically because I'm lazy. I have my this is actually very stupid to do, but then once again I'm very lazy, and some of my macros might not make sense. My next macro is Cleave, which is on Q. Cast Battle Shout, cast Cleave. Sometimes I'm going in here manually changing it to Commanding Shout. And most people would prefer to have a Battle Shout and Commanding Shout all by themselves in their separate macro. But I kind of used to have my Cleave on the button here, and I also at some point used to have my Battle Shout on that button, or my... Yeah. It's just very... not my Battle Shout, my Blood Rage, which used to be a warrior ability that gave you rage, kind of. That's a long time ago, but it's still kind of... I don't have any other macros I want to put down for that, and separate into two. But then, lazy, that is my playstyle. And next keybind is number E. The letter E. And that is my disarm. Easy to get to. I used to have a macro for that would put me in defensive stance, and then disarm, and then one more click I would go back to battle stance. So that was like 3 clicks. But because we're in Cataclysm, we don't need because we're in Mist of Pandaria now, we do not need that keybind anymore. And on the letter R, keybind R, I have hamstring. T, I have thunderclap. Shift T, I do have my dragon's roar. And whenever I'm using Shockwave, I have my Shockwave on that button on Shift T, or whenever I use my Bladestorm, I have that ability on Shift T. On Shift F, I got Heroic Throw, and Shift G, I have my Heroic Leap, so I can easily jump back and forth. And yeah, this is... I just realized I kind of missed a ability here. Okay. So the thing is, on G, you guys remember, on G, I had my charge, right? Like this. On number 9, that is where my safeguard is, and when I'm not using safeguard, that is where my intervene is. And that is actually control G. And that is right now it is a macro, but whenever I'm not doing PvP, not doing arenas, and I would like to have a lot more control, I'm just using the normal safeguard. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the macro in a moment, but what I want to point out is my movement abilities, my charge, my safeguard, and my heroic leap are all on the letter G with different modifiers. Normal G, charge, Shift G, which is a heroic leap, and controlled G is my safeguard. And let me show you guys what macro I am once in a while using for my shift, for my control G for safeguard. Right here. That is a very useful macro I use for whenever I'm doing arenas. For battlegrounds, it can sometimes be really tricky, and I wouldn't use it for raiding. But then again, this video is more directed towards PvP, right? So what it does, it target friends, it target my friend, it cast Safeguard on that guy, and then it target last enemy. So basically, what it does is, let's say I'm Frost Nova. Somebody rooted me. Somebody put me into a root. Somebody put me into a Frost Nova, or something I cannot get out of. Right? So what I do is I just hit the button, and what it will do is target my friend, my closest ally, my closest friend, and it will safeguard right over to him. Let's say I have the enemy targeted, which is the Raider training dummy here. Then I just press that button once, and it will automatically target this, my friend here, get me over there, basically get me out of root, and it will go right back and still keep me targeted on the same target I was before. So it's simply just quickly I can really quickly get out of root effects, Frost Nova. Really, really nice. And that's very good for, especially for arenas where you have like 2 melee, let's say 3 versus 3, and you have 2 melee on your side, and you're both of you are like attacking the mage or the healer or whatever. Yeah, very useful. Okay, so where did I come from? Yes, next macro and keybind is F. That is where I have my pummel, and my pummel got a macro. I don't believe I used that macro. Right now it doesn't have any use, but it kind of used to. What it does, well, basically start attack and cancelaura Bladestorm and cast pummel. So what it does is basically, in the old days when I was using Bladestorm, I could go ahead and learn how to use Bladestorm here, just for the sake of this video. Let's say I'm Bladestorming a caster. This is the caster, right? And he is just about to do a huge heal, or just about to do a chaos bolt or whatever, something that hits really hard, mostly heals or whatever. And then I'm gonna Bladestorm, and let's say I'm in a Bladestorm, then I cannot interrupt him, right? Because honestly, I need to get out of my Bladestorm, and I need to do that quickly. So what my pummel macro will do is put me out of Bladestorm and interrupt the guy right here. So I'm gonna Bladestorm and then hit my keybind, and bam, I'm out, and I interrupted the guy. Okay, so next keybind is my shift keybinds, basically. That is shift number 1, that is my piercing howl. Shift number 2 is my execute. Shift number 3 is my intimidating shout. Shift number 4 is my error man for himself, and this is a keybind I have on all of my characters. Error man for himself. All of my human characters got the keybind right here, and when I'm not a human, and then I use the PvP trinket, and then I also put it right there. Okay, so on the next keybind is the letter half, and I know some of you guys don't use the Danish keyboard. Well, most of you guys don't, but that button is basically the button you have right beside your number 1 key. I believe it is called the tile key. I might be wrong here, but I don't know. But it's at least it's the button right beside number 1, and just above the tabulator, the tab button. Okay. So very easy to get to, and basically puts me in Berserker Rage. Whenever I do use the Enrage Regeneration talent, I put it right there. I actually have a macro for that. Let's see, it is... I do believe I have a macro. There we have it. Show tooltip Enrage Regeneration, cast Berserker Rage, and cast Enrage Regeneration, which is basically what it's gonna do. If I do have Berserker Rage, I'm gonna get into Enrage, and then I'm gonna use the Berserker Regeneration to heal myself up. Okay, we don't have that many macros or that many keybinds to go, so let's go further. This one is going to be for all the F buttons. You know, F1, F2, F3, F4, and F5. Some people might have an easy time depending on your keybinds, depending on your finger, and your muscle memory and how you're used to handling your keybinds. This is something most people don't use for keybinds, but I kind of got used to it. My F1, 2, 3, 4 are usually for my cooldowns, and on F1 I have Deadly Calm, and what it's gonna do is basically nothing. That's not even a macro. That's like an old trinket. Wow. Okay, Deadly Calm is on F1. On F2, I actually have a huge DPS macro, and this is a DPS macro that some people might want to separate into many different macros, many different keybinds. But hey, I'm no huge arena player. I just like huge burst, and the macro is also useful for PvE. So what my macro does is basically it uses a certain item to transform me into a night elf. It cast Recklessness, it cast Avatar, use my Skull Banner, and if I do have a Strength Potion, it's gonna use my Strength Potion, Potion of Mogu Power, and then it's gonna use my PvP trinket, right, let's get in my PvP gear, right here, my Malevolent Gladiator Badge of Victory, giving me that extra strength. Oh, and by the way guys, this PvP trinket is going to be nerfed very, very soon. And then it's going to be using Sweeping Strikes if I got the rage for it. And I do believe I have to hit the button an extra time if it want. I'm not sure if it might have to. If I do have the rage, I'll have to hit an extra time on the button to activate my Sweeping Strikes, and same goes for my Mortal Strike. Just in case I'm like trying to hit it as fast as possible and hit it multiple times, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and use it, shall we? I'm gonna charge here. Got a bit of rage. I'm gonna use my Recklessness, and take a look at all the buffs I'm gonna get up here. Bam! It's gonna use my Night Elf, Recklessness, Avatar, Call of Victory, which is my PvP banner, my Sweeping Strikes. So basically, there we go. Oh, and it didn't. Yeah. Very, very, very nice, and a lot of burst into it. A lot of warriors like to use it. It is very common sense. A lot of warriors like to use all of the keybinds, all of their cooldowns, just because that's how warriors are. Huge burst potential, and very fun indeed. Okay, so the next one is the next keybind is F3, and that is where I have my shield wall. My shield wall is also a macro. What it basically does is right here, puts me in. It has a lot of cancel auras, such as cancel my Bladestorm, basically stops me from using Bladestorm. It cancel my Recklessness, which it doesn't need to do anymore. Recklessness kinda used to increase the damage taken back in Cataclysm, but it no longer increased the damage taken, so no need to have that anymore. Then it's gonna put me into defensive stance, just because I want to make sure, like one click, I'm defensive stance. Not you no longer need to be in defensive stance, but personally, defensive stance is gonna decrease the damage taken by quite a lot, so why not use it at the same time as shield wall? But if you want to go instantly, equip shield, and then you might want to remove defensive stance. But that's all about personal opinion. And then once again, equip the one-handed weapon, equip the shield, and then cast shield wall and cast shield block. I don't know if I want to keep the shield block there actually, because shield block is costing a lot of rage. And I believe shield block can only be used if you are in defensive stance. So sure, if you got the rage for it, cast shield block as well, although it is not required. But I'm also using this keybind once in a while for my PvP, so yeah, that's what I'm using. Alrighty, so next keybind is Rallying Cry F4. And that's actually very confusing, because whenever I'm like doing PvE as a Fury Warrior, scratch that. Keybind is F4, that is for my rallying cry. F5 is for my health stone, and all the other keybinds, I really don't use them. And there we go, guys. Oh, and one last keybind. That is my Warcraft keybind here, which I can't even use. That's sad. I have to be furry to use both Warclaves, because one of them is offhanded apparently. Anyways, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this gave you guys some inspiration about whatever my macros, whatever my keybinds are, and yeah. If you got any suggestions, if you got any questions or anything, leave a comment down in the comment section below, and I will try to answer, and I will be reading all of it. So yeah, go ahead, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.